Welcome to the Ultimate Football Manager Challenge. We are rebuilding FC Basel into Champions League winners. And here's the twist. This series doesn't end until the Swiss side lifts the Champions League trophy. No season cap, no shortcuts. We're going to go all the way, no matter how long it takes. This is while playing an exciting 3-4-2-1 system, featuring fully committed flying wingbacks, pure attacking football, no fear. A little fun fact, Basel might not be a European giant, but they actually have beaten the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea and Liverpool in real-life Champions League matches, so history tells us they can punch way above their weight. If you want to dive deeper, the same save file and tactic file alongside of ad-free viewing are all over on my Patreon page, where there is still time to take advantage of a 30% off offer. Make sure you go and get involved, but today it's all about turning this Swiss super team into a European powerhouse. So then, this is going to be some rebuild, isn't it? It was going to be a viewer request, so if anyone remembers leaving the comment, thank you very much for the idea. I was trying to surf back ages ago to get this comment, and hopefully they're still around on the channel, because it is one big challenge. Now, this challenge to me, I cannot put a time on it. I don't know how long it's going to take me. It could take me above 10 seasons, 15, I really don't know. I've never actually sat down and played with them, so it's going to be a very interesting save for me. What I will say is, in terms of their actual reputation, training facilities, youth facilities and youth recruitment, I've seen a lot worse, you know. You've got 4-star training, 3-star youth facilities, 3-star youth facilities, 4-star youth facilities, 4-star youth recruitment. The owners are enjoying life at the club. Forget enjoying life, win me a Champions League, get the money invested. The finances are okay, and they are a team obviously over in the Swiss League that aren't shy of winning the Swiss stuff. 21 Swiss Super Leagues, 14 Swiss Cups, one Swiss, I knew it was going to happen, Swiss Challenge League. There's going to be a lot of in this video. I knew it. The Swiss Super League is going to catch me out a lot. But this video is not about the Swiss Super League. It is about the Champions League. There is no secret that when we're playing in these competitions, the Swiss Cup and the Swiss Super League, we are not expecting to lose. We're a very good team over in Switzerland. The big challenge here is this big boy in the middle, that Champions League. But we have got to fight through the Champions Path playoffs to even get a chance to play in the competition. That is the ultimate challenge. This right here, this is nothing, you know. We go to the past winners, but it's between us and young boys really, and we dominate it quite a fair bit. And actually, if we go to the season preview, we're only shortly predicted second behind young boys. So I think we are going to have a very good time in that league. When it comes to the money, if you are playing back home and you are using my latest up-to-date database, or sort out SI should I say, you would have had a budget of 1.6 million, and the club has got a little bit of debt, but nothing too outrageous. So that debt will be cleansed after a few seasons, because we don't sign anybody in season 1 anyway. And when you see some of the players we have got, for anyone that doesn't usually keep up with this club, I personally don't, there was one man that I didn't even know played for this team. This man here, Shaqiri. This is a player I was very used to watching at Stoke, at Liverpool, 33 years of age, but actually a perfect player for this league, a Star Super League player. And again, at any part of this video, you want to grab this tactic and the save file and all of these perks, you can go and check out the Patreon and be part of a team of close to 6,000 members. Endless content over there. But back to the point of this tactic, I have decided to make this challenge even harder. How? I am playing a 3-back system, not a meta 4-2-3-1, not a meta 4-3-3. It is a very good 3-4-2-1, but we're going to be playing with complete attacking wingbacks against Bayern, PSG, all of these big boys, and we're just going to completely send it, which might come back to bite me a couple of seasons. But on paper, this team is easily good enough to go and win everything over in Switzerland. Shaqiri looks crazy for this league. Great passing, great first touch, great dribbling, great composure. Not the quickest, but he doesn't really need to be when he can just sort of sit in that position there. And considering he is playing on the left-hand side, that area is, you know, holding up the ball, holding the position, so we're not really reliant on pace in that area. Our striker is really decent for this standard of football. Traore, you know, good finishing, good composure, good pace, good acceleration, division, can get the job done in this division. Can he win me a Champions League? I don't want to sound harsh to the guy, but I don't think he can really lift it necessarily. So as time goes on, we are going to see a lot of different faces coming in. I've recently rebuilt Athens, and I was trying to explain to people that we are going to see a very different lineup when we finally win that Champions League, because players go for different reasons. If we go over to the squad right now, for example, and look at the age, luckily this is not as half bad as Athens, but we've probably got maybe, what, 5 to 6 players that are getting on the older side. We've actually got a reasonably aged squad, which is quite nice to see. In terms of players we have got on loan, we've only got 2 players on loan, so every other player we actually own, which is really good as well. The first loanee is going to be this man. Now, we don't actually use wide players, so I doubt he'll play on loan, and therefore my decision to buy him is at a staggering 0%. He will definitely not be brought. And the other loanee is going to be this man, who, if he plays quite well, I would consider signing, you know. At this point, I just want to get legs in the team. He's 23, you know, he's played for some pretty decent teams in Lens and Valencia, Oviedo. If he does decent, and he's that sort of price range, why not get him for a backup? So I would consider selling, or buying that guy, sorry. In terms of selling people, we have got 3 players out on loan. Now, 2 of them are strikers, and actually, this team has got a lot of people that can play striker. So unless these loanee players do, like, really, really well, in the likes of Jovanovic, I believe is how you say that. Obviously on loan here, he is going to be playing in the Israeli league. I do not believe I will be signing him. You've also got this man, of course, another Swiss international, who looks ridiculously slow and doesn't really suit my system. So it's difficult because we've got so many players here that I think we could potentially use, but by the time they get into the team, they're going to be expected to play in a high level of the Champions League, and then it's too late. If we were just playing this casually and we had time to sort of develop some of these players, get them moulded in, they've probably got a future at the club. But as I kept banging on about in the Athens rebuild, when I do rebuilds to take a team like this to Champions League winners, we go through generations. What you see right now is my first generation team. This team will get me, hopefully, to a decent level in the Champions League. I'm talking even around a 16. Then piece by piece, we are going to replace. Because, for example, the entire back line, I think, would get eaten alive in a Champions League game. The wing-backs, how are they going to do? The right-back, his crossing's not great. This tactic does require decent crossing, so really got to look out for a wing-back that has got at least sort of 12, if not 13, 14 crossing to really maximise the potential. The left-back, a little bit better, although a little bit slower. I mean, we're going to work with what we have got, is what I'm going to say. I knew this was going to be a challenge. I knew that from minute 1. But I do think, even with the couple of negatives that I pointed out, we can go into this first season, tick off the Swiss Cup, tick off the Swiss Super League, and hopefully just avoid humiliation in the Champions League. Oh wow, this is a little bit of a humbling for me. We are going to lose, and not to Young Boys. We are going to lose there to a team name that I will not say because I will butcher it, but we are going to lose by 4 points. Now, I will say one thing right off the bat. I am genuinely surprised. I thought we were going to come out and actually take the Swiss stuff quite easily, but this now puts another element on the rebuild, because this will now mean less money, which means slower progression in transfers, which means slower progression in building the team up, which means slower progression in improving in the Champions League. So this one hurts quite a fair bit. I mean, we drew 10 games, so we've got a bit of an issue there, to be honest with you. One that I was not expecting to have. What has happened in the Champions League? Because if we're not winning this, the Champions League could be ugly. Sadly, we do get to the playoffs to obviously get into the Champions League, but we are going to lose 4-3 against Copenhagen. Now, considering what I've just seen in the league, that's actually okay, because I was thinking we were going to go out, I mean, proper early on, but we don't. We do get to the final bit where sadly we just can't get through. Now, I don't know how far we would have got even if we got past this stage, but at least that's not humiliation. Please just make sure I've won that Swiss Cup. before we talk about the Swiss Cup, we actually do get knocked down to the Europa League because we got far enough in that Champions League. And we do get to the round of 16, where sadly we are going to lose against Rangers. Now, no disrespect to Rangers, they're not exactly, you know, a great team compared to a top European side. You know, they're missing half their team here, and we still couldn't get the job done. So we have got a long way to come. A long way to come. And I've seen something that makes me feel a little bit sick, actually. We lost in the third round of the Swiss Cup. The third round. We don't even make it to the quarter-final. So this team is way off the pace. My smiles in the intros, I need to get rid of it because, yeah, this has been a horror season. Now, this has put me in a situation that I was not expecting. I'm now in a situation where I have not won a trophy in my first season, which might sound a bit cocky, but we are one of the best teams in Switzerland, so I was expecting it. We have not won a trophy in Season 1. I don't know how much money we're going to be given. I can't complain with whatever. 4.5 million. I can't complain. We have not won a trophy. And putting it bluntly, the players on paper, the goal scoring was actually the issue. We're the best at defending, somehow, and the third best at scoring in the league. So we need more goal output. And I'm not being funny, but I look at the players and Traore done quite well, 24 and 2. Shaqiri done decent, 14 and 8. Kukuri 8 and 6. Behind them, I'm not being funny, but a left back 10 and 16. Right back 5 and 9. 7 and 6, 1 and 6 for the midfielders. 14 and 1 for the man out on loan. I don't feel like we've done awful. I don't know if I'm being crazy, but I don't feel like we've done awful. I just feel like this season, I sound like Jurgen Klopp now, I'm going to make excuses, but I feel like we've been a little bit unlucky with some of the draws because these players haven't performed that badly, especially the attacking players, you know. You look at this point upwards, they've actually done quite well. So I think this won't happen again. I sure hope it won't happen again because there must be so many draws. I mean, look at this for a month. 2-2, 1-1, a scraping extra time, 2-2, 2-1 loss, 2-1 loss. You can go again here. This is simply not good enough. What an awful run of games here. This is simply not good enough, and this rebuild has now taken a massive twist as I go in to Season 2 transfers with not a Scooby if I can even sign anybody with that money. Well, no money equals free agents, and we have got 3 free agents to talk about. The first one is going to be Thiago Fernandez. Now, surprisingly, he only plays 2 games. Now, the reason why I say surprisingly is because he is probably good enough to get into our first team, but he doesn't really get the game time. Am I too annoyed about it? I'm not if we've won anything, but I was expecting more out of him. Now, when I say more out of him, I can't even really blame him because I didn't lock him in, but based off what I see on paper, he should have been given more game time, so a little bit gutted for him more than anything. Now, worst comes to worst, this signing doesn't work out, we can sell him for a couple of million, so at least we are going to have a positive in some regard, but just a bit surprised we don't get more out of him. Then it could be because we signed this guy on the free, and this guy is a monster. It's going to be Andrea Colpani, coming in from Brianza on the free, 17 goal contributions, and this man, he's an absolute demon. A star Super League player, he is on the older side, but when you're picking up a player that's worth £15 million, with a team like us, that means everything, you know. He is a super player, great technical attributes, the perfect attacker midfield player, an absolute dream to have. So when you're picking up players like this on the free who play in the same position, that might explain what happened to the other man. Also covered off the goalkeeper, and this is a banker of a signing. I don't know how long we're going to keep him because he looks really good, but we are going to pick up Tariq Karic, coming in there from the Bosnian League, which is a league I've never signed from, if I'm not mistaken. 21 clean sheets in 36 games. A goalkeeper worth 4 to 6 million. I would love to keep this guy for as long as I can because his potential is somewhere up there. It's through the absolute roof. So I'm hoping we can keep him, and that is now 3 brand new signings with no money spent. So if we go on now to win the league and the cup, or one of them, things are looking up, and that's not even factoring in an improvement in the Champions League, because being real, you know, being honest, I don't really think we've improved enough to justify an improvement in the Champions League, but for the league, why not? actually do get a step further in the Champions League. We get to the knockout playoff rounds, which is pretty positive, to be honest, and we only lose by 1 goal there against Marseille, which is not half bad, to be honest. So although it's not exactly far in the competition, it's a lot further than before. So are Marseille a bit too strong? Yes, they've got some great players, really good manager as well. So I can sit here and I'm actually quite proud, but what would make me prouder is a Swiss Cup or League win. Well, the Swiss Cup final, we are going to be there this year, and we're going to get off to a great start. Inside of 50 minutes, I think my sort of aggressive nature towards the lads here has finally got through, because we need to be winning these competitions. And this is going to be great from our right back. You can really see how good this tactic is now. A great ball in, a great header, and if you've got the right player at right back, which we don't even have at the moment, this tactic becomes unplayable. Using them wing backs, utilising the right and left hand side of the pitch, as Traore, our striker, takes on the whole team. And how does he finish from there? 3-0 in 60 minutes, and we go on to win the Swiss Cup in 4-0 fashion. What a turnaround. For the league, we are also going to win it, and by some points. So last season must have just been a little bit of a one-off. It must have been. I was quite worried after what I saw, happened. I was like, hang on, are we now going to have a struggle to win the league and the cup? Quite clearly not. We have walked the league, putting it bluntly, and we have got a lot of players in the stat lines here. Shaqiri, 17 assists at the age of 35. You've got Kevin with 14 from right back. Really like to see that. You've also are going to have our left back. This screams of how good this tactic is. Our goalkeeper, the most clean sheets. Traore, 6 more goals than second place. This is more like it. So this season, complete turnaround. Improvement in the Champions League. Massive improvement in the Swiss Cup. Second to first in the Swiss Super Cup. This is a good season. And a season where I can actually look at the players and say, right, I can be proud. There is still a lot of work to do, don't get me wrong. The addition of this man right here had a big change on this team. 14 and 17, significant improvement. 42 and 5 for Traore, 17 and 22 for Shaqiri. I'm not being funny, but our wing-backs are putting up ridiculous numbers. Respectfully, they're not the best wing-backs, but our right-back, 27 goal contributions. Our left back, 9 and 19. These are putting up very good numbers. Our bench, one of our centre-backs with 19 goals, which I imagine would be from set pieces, and he must have played at right back or left back for some of them games to get that number. But the team is playing really well. And what I love to see is that despite having a really negative first season, we've not letting it get to us. We've turned around. We're now on top in Switzerland, stay there, and keep on growing in the Champions League. Now, in terms of money, we are going to have a budget of 25 million. That is 21, that is a lot more. That is a lot more money than last season. The club is now almost debt-free, and the team has been given the green flag to go and spend money. Now, where do you spend money? Well, when you look at the actual feedback, we're the best at everything in the league, so you can't really use that as knowledge because we're the best at everything, apparently. Realistically, I'd go for centre-backs. That's what I want, but I'm not going to rush into signings unless there's, any good free agents that I wouldn't be able to usually afford. I want centre-backs, but they need to be the right centre-backs. They need to be able to play my system. I will not bend this system for nobody. I will not change from the attacking wing-backs. This is how I want to win. This is how we will win. I feel like Ruben Amorim. Let's get into the next season. Well, talk about heartbreak. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I would have kept this guy probably till he retired because he's by far one of our best players, but Kolpani did have a release clause and it gets paid from a Saudi team. Now, serious negative in the fact that obviously he was incredible for us. The positive is it gives us another 12 million, which does mean we had about 30 odd million to spend. But by choice, I would not have sold him because he was doing his thing just well. And just shame there's no loyalty in the game anymore. 3.5 million, I do pick up one centre-back who I do feel does suit the system. He can really play that wide centre-back role quite well. Because we've got 3 at the back, we don't need all of them to be the most quick. And this guy's definitely not the most quicker centre-back you'll find in the game. He's more known for his, strength, basically being a unit. He's putting it in a polite way. He's just more of a brute than someone who is a bit quick at the back. So we need to pair him correctly with other centre-backs, but there is also a world where this guy can play in the middle, and then we play pacier ones to the left and the right. So for the sake of, what, 3.5 million, he also scores 14 goals. So I will go and say, guys, if you've not got mine, go and get the set pieces, because they're absolutely nuts. And this guy has had a field day. They're almost striker numbers. £1 million, we are going to pick up what I like to call a left back, a very good left back, one that I would class that is going to be a little bit of an improvement to the one that we have got. Now, I will say he comes in and picks up 19 assists, so my scouting has gone pretty well. 21 goal contributions in his first season is absolutely incredible, and that's with him being stitched up as well. That is a very, very, very good season, one that he can be proud of, I can be proud of, and already worth double of what we paid for him. So hopefully Bar is going to have a bright future. Just stay loyal. And for 4.7 million, we are going to pick up Zanotti. Not Zanetti, Zanotti. Coming in from Lugano. Now, this guy, not as impressive. You know, not 19 assists, but still picked up 7. Couple of goals as well, which is really, really strong. This guy just looks really well-rounded, and he doesn't have the, 14 crossing that I'm living in dreamland over, but he offers a lot, He still can improve. He's already a star Super League player. He's already wanted by Damak, which is a bit of a nightmare because they have got a little bit of cash flow, and loyalty so far has not been my team's strongest point. So I'm hoping with 3 new faces in the team, we can carry on at bare minimum being this Swiss giant, because we're on top in Switzerland now. I don't want to come off. We are going to stay on top, and we're going to stay on top by 22 points. So real big statement being made. I mean, I've just noticed something. I'm going to say it before I forget. Bar is going to be the top assister in the entire league. Really good signing that is. Our goalkeeper, most clean sheets. Traore a goal behind rank 1. We've also got Shaqiri at now the age of 36. Still performing really well. We've got Dominic coming in here with 11, who of course, again, a decent left back. The wing backs are really making a statement, and it's not just one wing back. You'll notice it there with Dominic, it was another left back the other season. That's what I like. When you can have a couple of wing backs in your team that both can contribute highly and they're fighting each other to play, that's when you get the best results. Because it could be one of his last seasons, I am going to showcase the Swiss final, and it's a 1-0 win and a very special goal from a special man. Shaqiri, have it with pride. What a win. And the Champions League, we have improved because we get all the way to the quarterfinals, where sadly we get a little bit battered by Aston Villa, but that is a really good season. To actually get past the round of 16 over AC Milan, by the way, which is a very good team by our standards, a very good team. In the Champions League, despite getting knocked out in the quarterfinal, this man is the top assister. He's going to get poached so easily, I've got to be careful. Traore, despite getting knocked out in the quarter-final, the second top Champions League goal scorer. Our players are performing way above what I expected. Now, I will say, we don't get out of the league phase, so we would have played in this, and we beat Benfica as well 4-1. We're playing really good football. We're back, still on top on the Swiss Cup and the Swiss Super League, and we carry on the improvement in the Champions League. And I would imagine it has given us a fair, really good budget. £45 million, nearly a debt-free club now, chiseling away bit by bit at that. And the team on paper, obviously we are going to lose that man in Colapinto, but I say Colapinto then, my F1 head's on. We've nearly lost him, we did lose him, and we are now looking at a player to replace him who, don't get me wrong, it's disappointing. Sorry, he's disappointing. He gets game time and he doesn't really do too much. So I do want to sign another attacking midfield player on the right-hand side. And I think this is where the rebuild gets a bit pressurised. Because so far, the first season, I'm going to put to one side. Ever since that first season, we've been improving bit by bit. For me to do that now, I need to win the Swiss League, the Cup, and get to a semi. That's some step up, isn't it? So it would take a miracle for that to happen. Our squad might look appealing in terms of numbers, but the quality isn't exactly great all the way through. So again, we can't really use this because we're the best at scoring, the best at defending, in the league. I like to use that because it makes it easy to weigh your weaknesses. Even the data hub, for example, we're very good on both sides of the game. But again, I would pinpoint maybe some more centre-backs. You know, definitely if we can get someone to suit this AM role, I would love to replace him. And I think the overall team just needs new legs. The great thing about rebuilding a team like this team is that the players that are on short contracts, they're not good enough for what I need anyway. So if they're not going to let me sell them, I can let them go on the free and I'll use that money from their wage to fund another transfer. So luckily, I'm not feeling the pressure of players demanding big money and that I can't pay it. But that might start happening with the likes of Bar, Traore, you know, them players. When they're performing like that in the Champions League, you know, let's not forget, by the way, one last reminder, second top goal scorer, top assister. They're going to want some serious money. Signing one is going to be Vitor Roque. I've been eyeing this man up from day one. He's the man on the thumbnail and the man that I wanted to go alongside / compete with Traore. Now, it appears this guy has blown Traore out of the water, and this guy is more designed to progress me in the Champions League. 26 goals in 35 games is absolutely remarkable. For £17 million, it's a steal. This guy offers blistering pace, great dribbling, finishing, first touch, composure, off the ball, technique. He's 24, star Super League player. Do I need to go on? He is an absolute dream. Sadly, wanted by two massive clubs, and that means a new contract is only around the corner. But what a signing. Try to partner him with this man, Tom, coming in from Bayern for a total of 9 million, 10 goal contributions, mainly assists, which is obviously what I signed him for. I am hoping he gets into the first team, really starts to make it his own, and he can sort of help, you know, the main man up front in Vitor Roque, and they can link together and we can have this young, powerful goal output, which is just unstoppable, not only in Switzerland, but in the entirety of Europe. That mission from deep is going to be Gerard Hernandez from Al Arabi, coming in for 11 million, 8 goals, 6 assists, and an absolute baller. Very, very good passing range, great tackling, very good pace for a player who plays deep, good anticipation, good agility, good balance, good jumping, good vision. The perfect player. That is now 3 players that are already somewhat pre-built, already somewhat ready to take on this challenge, and they're all under 25. We're preparing for the future because we do not know how long we're going to be here, and we're doing it right. We're signing players that don't need 4 or 5 years to become decent. They're already very, very good players. This is a man that has played for Barcelona. You know, even though he didn't really do too much there, he's been there, and that means a lot to me anyway, so definitely had to bring him in. Welcome in Gerard Hernandez. Lastly, for 1.9 million to sort of play a bit more centrally, we don't use wingers obviously, it is going to be Oscar. Now this guy comes in and he cooks 20 and 8, so when you factor in everything our new players have done, I will be very surprised if we have not won the league and the Swiss Cup again, because these players are doing so well. Now, this is a first time getting this guy for me, and oh boy, I wish I knew about him sooner, because he is such a good player. If you play wingers, you could probably even get more out of him, because he would also give you the versatility. For me, I play, obviously, no wingers, so he's only really going to play in the attacking area, midfield, or potentially a little bit deeper if we need him to. But that is going to complete an incredible window. 4 very top tier players, and I mean top tier players, for 39 million, only while losing 4 players that aren't really too important. So I think there's a world where I think genuinely there's a world we can even get to the semis of the Champions League. When I see what these players have done, why not? Yeah, remind me never to be confident again, because we're going to lose in the knockout playoff rounds, which is a little bit of a step back from, you know, quarterfinalists. Now, the league phase, we also dropped down into 17th, and that wasn't pretty. We beat 3 teams, we draw against Salzburg and Bayern, and we lose 5-1 against Inter Milan. Next competition, Swiss Cup final. We are going to be back into it, and this is now our competition, our final, our trophy, and it is going to be our left back, our star left back, making it 1-0 in 45 minutes, which I am happy to say has not left us yet. But sadly, unlike the other Swiss Cups we have played in, this one ended up being a little bit more tricky. A great ball over the top, and Polster is going to find the equaliser inside of 68 minutes. Luckily, we've got Vitor Roque Roque, who makes it 2-1 in the 80th minute, and nearly that was enough, but defensively, we weren't there today, and they are going to find a way back into the game about 30 seconds, 38 seconds exactly after our goal, and this game ends up going to extra time, which was not on my bingo cards, but luckily we are going to find that goal, and it is going to be provided by the new man with one of the best balls and runs I've ever seen. What a link up. The league, we absolutely run away with our first 100 plus point season, and I think you can start to pinpoint why. I mean, this man, 20 goals is what I will say. This man, 26 goals. Absolutely incredible. You've got this man with 20 assists from right back. Shaqiri, 14. He is still not retiring at 37. Bar at left back. I mean, we are playing some stellar football, and yes, the Champions League was not as good, but the Swiss stuff we are absolutely running away with. That is now going to be 3 times back-to-back. Since that first bad season, we've put that right, and we've just completely kept our heads down and got the job done. Was the Swiss Cup pretty? No, it was very, very close, but we are going to get the job done, and the Champions League is a bit disappointing, but we can work on that, and piece by piece, month by month, signing by signing, we are developing a more suited team to get further in the Champions League. And let me explain what I mean by suited. Suited means players that I actually think I can see being in that Champions League final. So Vitor Roque, definitely this man here. Bar potentially, if he stays at the club, he is really, really strong. Vitor Roque will be there, I'm very confident. The players are doing a great job. Zanotti at right back, you know, the wing backs I love, but I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to a Champions League final, so I can't give them a guarantee. Hernandez, I'll be very, very surprised if he's not in that final. There's a lot of players now, almost half the team, I can sit here and say, yeah, they're going to be good enough. I want to see more from Bischoff. He's a very, very good player, but I think he can work his way in. In fact, when Shaqiri retires, he probably will just slot right in there. He's got the attributes to do that. Obviously, Traore is now a backup, completely fine. He picks up 5 goals. But we still need to improve quite a fair bit to obviously progress in the Champions League. After seeing a bit of a step back in that sort of upped the ante a little bit. Now, in terms of the money, we are going to have a budget of £29 million. So not as much money. That debt is still coming down and down and down. So we can go and spend the money. But I think if you look at the windows we've had, for example, last window, we did not sign a single defender, so potentially the money this window gets invested into the goalkeeper and backline, because we obviously signed quite a few attacker midfield players, and a DM to be fair, but yeah, mainly in the attack last window. We can't have too many attacking windows. Can't believe it. It's absolute heartbreak. Hernandez has taken the money. Now, he is getting paid 300k a week, so first off, drinks are on him. But I will say, that's a massive loss to me, because he would have been part of the Champions League winning team. I bet money on it. He would be part of that team, and he goes for £15 million, so not really much of a profit either. So filling that void's not only going to be hard, but probably damn near impossible. Oh, it doesn't replace him, but we are going to spend a bit of our transfer budget on another centre-back and left-back. I've decided to go down a bit of a versatility approach just to cover myself off, and although this guy wouldn't make the best left back, he could play there if needed. Now, at centre-back, he's really, really strong. He's got a bit more pace than the previous man we signed from a couple of years ago, and he only cost me 3.8 million and returned a very, very good season. Played for some pretty big teams. I mean, Villarreal, PSV, Valencia. He's been around the block a little bit, but hopefully he can settle at Basel and we can turn him into a Champions League winner. He already is, though, wanted by Al Ahly. Can you remove the Saudi league? £8 million, I am going to sign a leading, and I say leading, he looks okay. I don't want to hype him up too much in case I put him down, but we are going to sign Loretz, coming in from the Swiss League, and he comes in, and to be fair, keeps 23 clean sheets. I didn't really want to say he was too good, because he looks nervous in his picture, but we pick him up for, what, 8 million? It's a bit of a steal. Is he going to win me a Champions League? That's why I'm hesitant, because I don't really know. But he will be a big improvement in the league and the Swiss Cup, and I simply don't have the money to go and sign a Diogo Costa, a Trubin. I don't have that funding at the moment, so I have to turn to Pascal, who is already wanted by 2 Saudi teams. Have a day off. 6.5 million, we are going to pick up another left back for very good reason. He does hit my quota of very good physical stats, great crossing, good tackling, good stamina, good work rate, and we have now got competition for Bar and a replacement because clubs have been offering relentlessly for him at left back. So I am pre-preparing losing Bar. But this man is already wanted by Saudi teams, of course. But he comes in 21 goal contribution, so there's no surprise why he's wanted by Saudi. But please just let me keep him. If I can keep him and Bar, we've got rotation for days. For 6.7 million, despite a very creepy picture, we are going to welcome in Frederick. Now, he's not as good as the man that we lost, who I will not say his name. He cost me 6 million. 8 goal contributions, obviously coming in from Bodmo Glimt. Only played in Norway his entire career, so a bit of a different vibe. He's decent, nowhere near as good as what we have lost, sadly. But again, the only real player on the market that I could attract, and is he wanted by a Saudi team as well? Yeah. Well, despite losing probably our best deep midfield player, we are still going to win the league by a lot of points as well. Vitor Roque and Shaqiri. Shaqiri is nearly our best player, not only our best player in the entire league, beaten by 0.3 from Roy, which is obviously our new left back, who has picked up the most assists, so fair play to him. Our new goalkeeper dominates the most clean sheets. Shaqiri, now retiring. Little round of applause because 38 years of age, what a stellar career. Finished where he started. That's a man I can respect. And what a final season to have. Fair play to Shaqiri, man. He's done me proud, and I'm sure the Basel fans back home, you can respect that. As we also go on to win the Swiss Cup 3-1 over Servette, making that now 4 times back-to-back. And I can tell you something right now. I think there's a world where we do not lose this final ever, ever, ever again. Now, the Champions League is not great, it's not awful. We go back a step upwards into the round of 16, where sadly we play Real Madrid. There is not a single world in this current state we are beating a team ran by Xabi Alonso that consists of Bellingham, Wirtz, Gula, Aaron Hickey, Pavlovic, Trent. Where's Mbappe? Okay, he's there. They are there. I was going to say, is he gone already? It's a great team. Simply not a chance. So we are going to go out in the round of 16, and we still need to progress quite a fair bit into that Champions League. Of course, the best we have done is the quarterfinals, I believe. So we need to work into getting into that semi-final stage. Budget-wise, we are going to go back to having big budgets now of £55 million, and I will class that as debt-free. So we really can carry on this spending. And once again, Shaqiri, let's put him on the bench. In fact, let's drag him all the way down here. So he's not going to be part of the plans. He's going to be retiring. Anybody else got any plans? Any plans of leaving? A lot of people wanted, of course, but we can look at this team on paper now. The wing backs I really, really enjoy. Centre backs, I think we need a couple more. I think we need a couple more deep midfield players. I like our striker options. Roque with 51 goal contributions. You've got this man here, maybe not as good of a season, but still a great player there. 8 and 10, 8 and 22. Coming in for our left back. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, even Traore, he's done very well, Traore. You know, he was the main man. He got replaced because Roque become available, and he's still chipping in nearly with 10 goals. So he's doing his thing. So I think, once again, defensive windows needed. Well, as much as I hyped him up, he didn't want a new contract, so I can't be angry at him, man. He was everything, and then I did replace him because Roque is the better striker at the end of the day. He is going to get a move to the Saudi League for 7 million. Now, I've got nothing but love for this guy. Yes, you can tell where he become a backup quite easily, but I respect the fact he wants to move on. He's still only 28, so he can even move back to a competitive league later down the line. But no love lost, but gutted he's not going to be part of the final team. £81 million, we welcome in a star centre-back, and he's deserving of that title because he's got blistering acceleration, decent pace, good for this team, good jumping, good heading, good tackling, good determination, a star Super League centre-back who did cost me 31 million, but in return dropped basically a 7.5 average rating, 10 goals, 2 assists, his first time ever stepping foot in this league, and has played for some quite good clubs. So, you know, his time at Leipzig was definitely a mixed bag, but for this team, I'm confident I can extract the most out of him. And do you know what? Super happy to have him. But once again, a man that's already wanted. We're easy pickings for these Saudi teams. Right back, I've gone with what I know. I know how good this guy can be. I know what he can do. And we, you know, strengthen the team again. Already wanted by holy every team in the game. We are going to pick up Elias Gelert, coming in for 9 million. Great player, 19 goal contribution, sorry. He's a player which gets on pretty much overlooked in this game. A lot of people won't give him the time of day. And I can tell you one thing, that crossing's a lie. This guy can deliver a ball in the box. He's a very good creator. So, not the most exciting window in terms of going forwards. We signed a centre-back and a right-back, but they're two signings that we need quite desperately. And I'm just hoping that between them, that's going to be enough to push us in the Champions League, because the rest of the team's looking quite solid. Well, the Champions League is going to be another round of 16. I just feel like obviously, I know how the competition works, you know, when you actually look at the league phase, you don't even get out of that. So we have to get past Stuttgart, which we do 7-0. Then you're guaranteed to get a tough game, which we do, against Liverpool. So we're not going to beat Liverpool. Their team, I imagine, is still looking very amazing. Arnie Slot in charge. Isaac Van Bommel. Yeah, their team's crazy. Crazy. We're not going to beat that team at the end of the day. So it is what it is. Let's just hope we can carry on winning the Swiss stuff. That's our bread and butter. Oh, the Swiss Cup final. I can tell you one thing for free. We are not going to get off to a great start. A big mistake at the back here, and it gifts a goal. I mean, that is absolutely diabolical. A free gift for Sanchez to make it 1-0. Luckily, in the second half, after a bit of a talking to, my players start to turn up. Schmidt on the ball right now. Plenty of space inside. Great first finish. And that is going to be 1-1. Back into the game. And from this point onwards, the lads knew how much this meant. I claimed literally about 2 minutes ago we would never lose this competition again. And these players are finally turning up in the cup final. This is not the first time. Not the first time we have been slow in this cup final. But we are going to come back and actually go on to win this with Gelert down the right-hand side, utilising that full crossing ability in 3-1 fashion. Let's get it. Have an invincible 100 plus points season in the league. So that means the Swiss stuff is ours once again. Who would have thought it? Our goalkeeper Pascal, 20 clean sheets. That is now back-to-back seasons. He has kept 20 or more clean sheets. 3 players in the assists, 3 in the player of the matches, 4 in the average rating, 2 in the goals. It is Swiss dominance. It really, really is. We are so good in the Swiss competitions. In fact, if you look throughout the calendar, the only real slip-ups we have is in the Champions League, which we're going to talk about because we are now going into season 7, I believe, and the Champions League isn't going awful. Like I said to you, we play tough teams, and I'm not saying we're getting unlucky, because I put myself in them positions. You know, we're not getting out of the league phase. I expect to play tough teams. But I look at the team on paper right now, and, you know, I'm just having a quick look, and it's like, the front line, you know, if you put him in there, for example, as well, this front three, I think, can get me to at least a semi. I think they really can. This midfield, I think maybe you need one more real standout player. The wing-backs, I think, can do it. I mean, all you need to do is look at the stats. They can do it. The centre-backs, I think there might be room for one more. A real improvement. Maybe Tarega needs to go to the bench. So I'm hoping we have got money to hopefully invest once again. And we have got money. We are going to have £50 million, which is very, very generous. Now, I will say, I'm now at a point where I'm not fussed if we win the Swiss stuff or not. If we lose the Swiss League and the Cup but get to a semi, I'll class that as a good season. And I might even now start to prioritise the Champions League, just to really try and push it up a little bit. The bad thing about this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of my 11 are wanted. Our goalkeeper wanted by UAE. Centre-back, Saudi, Tarega, everybody. Centre-back, everybody. Gelert, everybody. I mean, this To keep all these players will be a miracle going into the last season. So I'll say it now. Grab your popcorn, because we might be about to see an 8-way switch in this team. Well, I'm not too gutted that he went. He's not exactly been like... He's been decent, but not exactly like electrifying. And we do nearly double our money. We are going to wave goodbye to Frederick. He goes to the Saudi League. Surprisingly, everybody else I managed to keep, which genuinely does shock me. Now, signing one is going to be our first new gen. He is going to cost me a total of 21 million. He drops a pretty good average rating. Now, he is still super young. He's 21. So let's be fair on the lad to start things off. He is very good for me because he can play anywhere across the back line. He has got the pace and the acceleration to play where I want him to play, which is wide centre back. So he was actually a much needed signing. When he's already got games under his belt for Bayer Leverkusen at the age of 21, I knew he was going to be a good signing. So you can look at that. You can look at the fact that obviously he's got great attributes. You can look at his pros. He's a really good player to have. And do you know what? It was a battle to get him. I probably paid a bit more in terms of wage than what I wanted to do, but United wanted him. Saudi wanted him. I had to compete. And this guy, I'm excited for. It's going to be Jesse Da Silva, because he looks incredible. These technical attributes make me scared about what he's going to do. These physical attributes mean the same. He is such a good player. 39 million, 24 goal contributions. This guy is literally in a league of his own. 24 world-class, ridiculous talent. I am super excited to see what we can do now, because our backline improved big time, and our attacking side of the game has been improved tenfold. Genuinely very excited. Every time I get excited, something bad happens. For the first time in years, we're going to lose the Swiss Cup. And we have won that now, 5 times on the bounce. Maybe that's set a bad timing for the rest of what's going to happen this year. That's really unlikely. That's not good. The league, we're still invincible in, and it is, again, a 100-plus point season. Vitor Roque close to 40 goals. Dominic with 22 assists, our left-back, at 34 years of age. Roy with 14, Gellert with 11, our goalkeeper with 19 clean sheets. So the Swiss Cup's been lost, the Swiss League has been won, and in such a dominant fashion where that's made me realise that I don't think we're actually worsened. I just think we lost the final from, losing a final. Simple as that, really. Which is good, because maybe we can still be competitive in the Champions League. Being competitive isn't enough. Winning it is everything. And we are going to go on to win the Champions League from that goal. We'll take that one. But that is right. We win the Champions League. I'm going to have to show you on this screen, because it's obviously gone off this screen right here. But we win the Champions League. Now, I will say we had a miracle comeback. It's not a comeback. Let me be fair. A miracle game in the semi-finals here over PSG. But if you actually look, when we got to the challenging games against PSG, that game against Arsenal, which by the way, they battered us, we got a little bit lucky. I'm going to be honest, it was a little bit of luck, but sometimes you got to create your own luck. We did, however, have a bit of a close call there with Porto. Atletico was quite comfortable, PSG was not comfortable, and Arsenal was definitely not comfortable. They gifted us a goal. This team, led by Super Arteta, with Gyökeres, Saka, Martinelli, they gifted me a Champions League final, so I'm going to take it. And whether you say it's lucky, unlucky, well, it's not unlucky, lucky, whatever it is, the challenge has been completed. We have won a Champions League in Season 7. Now, I look at the team on paper, and I'll be honest, the only area of the team that I think, to be fair, he shouldn't even be in it, it'll be this guy who goes in there. The only area of the team that I think probably wouldn't justify being a Champions League winning team would be the midfield. Now, it's not based off stats. Schmidt there, 10 and 25, but this team definitely overachieved for the names you see on the team sheet, right? I think we can both agree with that, but the challenge has been completed. The club info, we are now a 4.5-star team, 4-star everything else, and we have got a Champions League, baby. We have got a Champions League in the Swiss League. That is beautiful. FC Basel have been rebuilt, and now your challenge, it's a big challenge, is to win the treble. The Swiss Cup, the Champions League, and the Swiss Super League. And to do it, you are going to have a budget of 123 million and only 2 million transfer debt. You're going to have a lot of fun and a great team. These two players here, incredible. Vitor Roque, incredible. My advice? Strengthen the midfield. The rest is fine. Hopefully you boys have enjoyed. Hopefully you have, because I've had a ton of fun recording this. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment below the next team you want to see rebuilt into Champions League winners. A challenging one like this. And I'll catch you boys in the next one. Adios.